just jotted down some notes on the way down here, actually, thanks to my chauffeur, Academy, for driving me down here. But I started thinking 80 years old. It's like I can't even believe it. It's like, I don't know, this will make you feel any better, Mom, but in my mind, you're eternally 40. Because that was the first time, like, age meant anything to me. You were 40, so you've just always been 40 in my mind. So, that was like last week or something. So, but, you know, when I think about it, it blows my mind. I've never known a world without my parents and most of my siblings. I've never had experience that. Thank you for cutting
I know, right?
But, I got off to a little bit of a rough start in this world because my parents called me Charlie. And then sometime when I was in college, I think, they had a son and named him Charlie. So, this is from the same people who later told Charlie and I we weren't allowed to call Pat Bro. So, anyway. These days, Mom usually calls me Pat, which at least has close to Paul. And in a world where no one seems to remember anyone's name, it's good preparation for me. But when people can't remember my name, I say, well, my mom can't remember my name, so there's no reason you should remember. But usually if Mom's trying to talk to me, she just starts with the oldest and just works down the list. Hey, Gretchen, Tom, Carolyn, which one are you anyway? Don't lie to me, because I'll find out who you are. But now that I think about it, she never knew whether her name was Barbara, Margaret Ann, Mags, Margaret, Bud, Monkey. You know, she never knew what her name was. So, you know, I can understand that. I give her a little slack for that. Let's hear a message from John Deere. Clearly, Mom's had a profound influence on my life. For one thing, she spoiled me forever by preparing a hot breakfast for me every single morning. So, and sometimes she even helped me deliver the paper route. But one of the big things I remember about Mom is sitting on her lap and her reading to me, which I think sparked a lot of my interest in reading and writing, and ultimately led me probably to the profession that I've chosen. So, and you know, when you're a kid, you have no idea what you're going to do when you grow up. And I can remember Mom sitting there with me, like assessing my skills, and it helped me figure out that I was worthless. But anyway, of course, most of my formal education came via Reader's Digest, so you know, you can understand. But I inherited my love of being on the water, I think from Mom, on and in around the water. Any time at the cottage was always a special experience. The memories there over the years are priceless. But there's a lot of other memories that come to mind too as I reflect on our history. I remember when I was young and learning to speak, I couldn't pronounce my R's correctly. My mom taught me how to pronounce my R's correctly. And I got my true blue eyes from Mom, of course. Mom saved us from the buzzed haircuts back in the days when the Beatles were becoming popular. Dad would just shave all our hair. Mom did her best to cut our hair in a fashion we could bear to go to school and see our friends. Of course, one of the famous stories was where Chuck and I would yell things and see what we could get Mom to respond to. We'd start by yelling Mom, who would of course be on another floor. She'd yell, what? And then we'd change it to her yelling, monkey! She'd be going, what? She'll answer to monkey. That's good enough. One other special memory I have of Mom was I was looking out the front door, the front window, and Mom was standing at the top of the steps in the front sidewalk in the pouring rain, just standing there. And I yelled out, Mom, what are you doing? I'm standing in the rain. Couldn't figure that one out. But when you stand in the back, you look really stupid. You don't know what an umbrella is. It feels so good. See, my boys still always imitate your I'm in heaven when you're at the cottage. swimming in the river. I'm in heaven. Let's see. Oh, then we had the in-house football pools where we'd pick who's going to win, put like a quarter on it. Mom would always make her picks based on the colors of the uniforms. Yeah, Mom, good one. Of course, you would win every week. There's so many other stories I probably don't need to get into detail, but like, you know, there's a couple that stand out, like the time Tom and Pete Antonets were camping out in the backyard and they came in and asked Mom for some food, and she famously suggested they could find some crackers and water. I mean, that'll go down forever. Yeah. Of course, there were the blind adventures out Maple Avenue, tourist destinations like Sticker Park, that Ken referenced. Little do we know this was a forecast of things to come, of Mom just randomly following semi-trucks to Michigan and into the way station, but it's all coming together for me now. Through Mom, we've gotten to know people like Mickey Arnold, Mary Drake, Sheila Mattingly, this character over here, of course Uncle Ursula, and now I think I know why I seem to attract freaky friends. But, you know, Mom always taught us whistle while you work when you're doing your chores, and time goes by just like that. And,
really remember that.
Yeah. Of course, no talk of Mom would be complete without reviewing some of the famous Momisms. The earliest and probably best known quote was from Mom on our famous vacation trip to Kansas. Load up all 150 of us in a small shoebox, drive across the country. And so we got about an hour in. Dad's like, I need a break. We're getting a hotel. So he stops, goes in, finds out the price and everything, comes out and asks Mom about it. Mom famously takes a puff for a cigarette. Take it. Next, she quit smoking after that. But some of my favorites when Mom would get totally stressed, she can come, I only have 2 hands! Or I'm doing the best I can! Mom, I have no respect for those phrases. Of course, there was a time Mom's car broke down and a helpful motorist stopped to see if he could do anything, and Mom's telling, yes, please, I don't have triple L or anything. Or triple L was a bar. Not to be confused with AAA, who helps you when your car breaks. Other noteworthy Momisms include hair blows, previously known as a blow dryer, cable jumps, known to other people as jumper cables, Parmesan cheese, still not sure what that is, Parmesan, I guess, bonjour bread, bread of the day, and whatever combination of deja vu you want to put together. Vuja vu, vuja day, I've lost track. That high school French class really paid off for you. But apparently no other mother in the world gets these words right either, so it must be something in the wedding cake. But, I'd say one of the reasons we're really nice to Mom, though, is because as she's told us repeatedly throughout her lifetime, she's extremely wealthy due to all the money she earned at the pools on election day.
Oh, right. Because I saved every check.
Right. But seriously, Mom rocks. You know, one of the coolest things I think about Moms, we've alluded to today, is like she's forever young. And like I remember asking her recently, or we were talking about, she said, I keep forgetting I'm like 80. I keep thinking I'm like 25. And I think that's awesome. And now that she has 2 new knees, she might be like 25. You might need a Viagra prescription. But I always love that Mom would like come to our parties. She would come to the bar with us and just hang out, you know, with your friends. Like, how many moms can do that with you? And one of the things I was proudest of Mom when you ran that marathon, remember? In my mind, you were like 54. I don't know if I dreamt that up.
Yeah, that's about right.
And it was like a 5 mile, 7 mile run.
6.8.
And she finished. I don't think I could have. I always admired that. But and Mom and Dad always taught us the value of community service. I can remember going with Mom to deliver Meals on Wheels when I was a little kid. I had no idea we were feeding people that otherwise had no way to eat anything. And you know, when family members, loved ones were hit with cancer, Mom and Dad were very involved in hospice, you know, to help people as they could. When mental illness presented itself, he was right there leading the charge. You know, they take the problems head on, and I admire that. Oh, this is a little bit of a random related thought, but I remember when I was in elementary school, Mom would come down and volunteer to help out the school. And to me, that was always just the neatest thing in the world, to see her mom at school. And then later years, she would bring Pat. You know, and Pat would come hang out with me, sit in my classroom, hey bud, hang out in my classroom and go to lunch with me, and that was so cool. But I've never known, seriously, a more compassionate, nurturing, unselfish person. And I know I told Mom and Dad this because I called them to tell them, and probably a lot of you have heard it, but, you know, I have essentially 3 sons of my own now in their young 20s. And I can remember when it became apparent our house was going to be the hangout. And we had all these kids at our house all the time. And I told my oldest son, Andy, I said, you know, it's cool that they're here, but I'm concerned about their relationship with their parents because they're spending so much time here. And he said, Dad, these kids don't want relationships with their parents, and their parents don't really want relationships with them. You know, the parents they're wealthy, they throw money at them, go entertain yourself, leave me alone, I'm going out and entertain myself. And that was when I realized how lucky I was. I called Mom and Dad and thanked them for always being there and being interested. It's something I took for granted for a lot of years, and a lot of people don't have. So, again, thank you for that. You've been a lifelong role model and an inspiration for me. You taught me to try to be a good person, treat others as you want to be treated. Most of all, be polite in front of ladies.
That's a tough one.
But, you know, Mom and Dad, and Mom, this is your day, but you've always been there for us to provide a sympathetic ear, an unbiased perspective, ideas and suggestions drawn from your own experience, and unconditional love. And for everything I am and have done, I owe to my angel mother.